Hi, I'm Val Bonning. This DVD has been produced to help you to understand what makes the dog tick and to assist you and your puppy into becoming great companions for the many years it will be living with your family. The first section on birthing is to give you an insight into the pup's life right from its very beginning. I hope you find it both educational and informative, and it's your choice to have your children watch and learn.
Each year, thousands of children incur injuries from dogs, often from family pets. In the worst cases, attacks result in severe disfigurement and sometimes death. The cause of such attacks can often be attributed to a lack of understanding by dog owners as to the treatment and training of their animals. We hope that this video will assist in educating people in this area. This is a family video, so watch it with your children. The video begins with the birth of a puppy. It is an excellent opportunity for you to introduce the subject of birth to your children. From here, the journey related to the development and training of puppies begins. Puppies are usually born in a membrane-like sac. This assists the puppy to birth easily. Most times the mother can remove this sac by herself, but there are occasions when the breeder has to assist this process. This is Velvet, a 5-year-old purebred Kelpie. Di Kent, a Brisbane breeder, has been kind enough to let us video the birth of one of her puppies. Velvet has just given birth to the 5th of a litter of 8. She is an experienced mum. This is not her first litter. The mother makes initial contact by licking her newborn pup. This stimulates the blood flow, keeps the pup clean, and starts the bonding process between them. Puppies suckle almost immediately. This is Lucy, a purebred Maltese Terrier. Her owner, Catherine, has decided to bath her prior to placing her in the whelping box for the birthing. This is Lucy's first litter. We should tell you that Lucy had 2 beautiful pups, and you will see these later in the video. Both were breech births, and the first was out of the sack. It was so traumatic that we have elected not to show you this, as it would be likely to upset small children who are watching. It is important to realise that whilst giving birth is a natural process, it is not without risk. If Catherine had not been very experienced and well prepared, the pup may not have survived. During birthing, the mother is given a little cool fresh water and some ice cream to sustain her through this ordeal. Remember that a litter of pups can be born over several hours, and a close eye needs to be kept on the whole process. For some of us, the pressure was just too great.
Right way,
I think so, but I can't tell. There's feet. That's a girl, Luce. No, it's breech again. While it's in the sack, it's okay.
Still, she's pushing pretty well.
That's it, Rose.
A pup is normally born head first. In a breech birth, the pup is born feet first, and this is generally more difficult for the mother, particularly if the pup is out of the sack. Lucy is doing well here. This is her second breech birth. Notice that Lucy gets assistance from the breeder as it is needed.
Can I have another washer or gauze or something out of that box? Washer or gauze or something, because I can't grip it. Good girl. Okay, it's okay, I know, darling.
Yes, you know.
Good girl, there it is. Good girl. Come on. Break the sack. 8 past.
Okay.
A piece of gauze, please.
8 past. 8 on. Second one breech. It's 10 past.
Throughout the birthing
Come on,
process,
Luce.
the breeder provides continuous support and comfort to the mother.
And there's that one there.
There you go. There you go.
That one's dead.
No, darling.
That one's dead.
Because the pup is so still right now, the child watching asks if all is okay. Because of this difficult birth, Kathy is going to give even more assistance to both pup and mum than normally occurs. The pup is being rubbed to stimulate it, and warm towels are being used to help with this.
That's it, Lucy, that's your baby. And it's a girl. All right, darling. Have we got another warm towel? Good girl. Shh.
Catherine will tie and then cut the umbilical cord connecting Lucy to her pup.
The umbilical cord is the means by which the pup is attached to the mum during her pregnancy. This is the connection which feeds the pup and nurtures it while pup is in the womb. It needs to be disconnected after birth as it is no longer required. Think about the difference in size of this newborn Maltese to the Kelpie we saw just a few moments ago. Now the pup is put to mum to feed and to suckle, and all's well. Another beautiful puppy is born.
Now, back to our Kelpies.
She has to keep them clean all the time, constantly looking after them.
Velvet had 8 beautiful puppies in total, all born without any trauma.
You get an idea of the size of the puppy at this stage. They're almost 2 weeks of age. Okay, so they've had a big feed and they're sleeping in their whelping box there. And at this stage in their life, some of their ears are just starting to open and some of their eyes are just starting to open. The one we're touching now, his eyes are nearly open. You can see his eyes there. The eyes are nearly open there too. This is at nearly 3 weeks of age. Look at the size of them. Scientists tell us that puppies that are handled right from day one, when they're born, can handle stress better in later life than puppies that are not touched at all. Pretty big difference in movement this week to last week. That's only 1 week in the puppy's life. It's just unbelievable when you see how quickly they grow, how quickly they mature.
Here we have Lucy's pups at 2.5 weeks. Both pups are developing well, and there is no evidence that the difficult birth of one of them has had any ill effects.
The puppies at approaching 4 weeks of age and moving around at great speed, and they're even trying to get out over the edge.
The pups are at an age where they need their nails clipped. Otherwise, they may damage themselves or their mother.
And I think they're pretty hungry at the moment.
Yeah, this is like the first week of weaning.
Food is being brought in for them so that they don't go too crazy at the mother.
This is pedigree puppy rehydrated.
Like things that are sweet. And poor old mum doesn't have to put up with the total thrust of 8 puppies. It'll take mum a little while just to settle down, and she'll only settle down when she's ready.
Once she's sort of emptied a little bit, then she'll sit down and let them nurture a little. The noise they're making now, that
Yeah.
This means her milk is coming down.
This is the puppies at 5 weeks of age.
You start them off teaching them to lap liquid, and then eventually they go on to the puppy rehydratable, which is more of a solid. These guys are now on that, plus boiled rice and cooked chicken mince, and they're actually going to have a bit of leftover roast. Just, it's important to keep them free of intestinal worm. Needles start at 6 weeks. Oh, yes. He is what I'd call the runt of the litter. They tend to pick on the little runty pup.
Yeah.
Because they know it's an easy target. But
Wow, he's
he
really...
does stand up for himself when he's had enough.
Well, here we are back with Lucy, and as you can see, both pups are active and healthy.
She wants
She's getting some more babies. More babies.
She's got milk in there. Hello. Hello, rascal. You're a rascal, aren't you?
It is wonderful for young children to be around the pups at this very young age, but only under strict supervision and for a very short period of time. Puppies need quiet times until at least 5 to 6 weeks of age.
Promise they're girls. See a girl.
Good boy. Can you give him a pat, will you? What do you think? Good. Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Guy's just getting out the towel that they've brought.
Now, you'll also be getting one of Val's books, which is called Who's the Boss?
Okay.
They don't necessarily need milk, and this, you don't give them human milk. This is only specially formulated for puppies.
Yep.
And it's just helps like on really hot days. I tend to give them stuff like that to help keep rehydrated.
The towel brought by the new owners now contains the scent of the pack. This will assist the pup in acclimatising to his new environment.
Now this is where this puppy's going to live. Putting his towel into the pen for him. So we'll be talking to Will later on about your puppy training.
There are various methods used to both accommodate and restrain puppies. Some of them are shown in this section of the video. Most of these kennels, travelling containers, fences, etc. can be purchased at reasonable cost and offer a high level of flexibility as to mobility and placement. choose equipment to suit your situation. It is a great idea to have some portable fencing both inside and outside of the home. This allows for better supervision of the animal, easier toilet training, and it is a safe area to leave the pup if you are out. Dogs like to sleep in the dark, and a crate, which can be covered over at night, becomes a den. This den can also be used to provide a quiet area during the day and represents safety and security for your pup. Do you remember that we told you of the traumatic birth of Lucy's first pup? Well, here she is. Her name is Tessa. We were so impressed by her tenacity and her courage that we decided we would keep her ourselves. As you can see, she is utterly fearless. Here are some factors which need to be considered by the new owners prior to the arrival of the puppy. Prepare an enclosed area inside the home for the pup to sleep in. Prepare an enclosed area outside of the house. Lay down some rules which all of the family will abide by. Don't separate the pup from you too quickly. Don't let the pup wander around at night or with an older dog when you go out. Try to keep the pup as quiet as possible and don't allow rough play by children. Don't let the pup run loose through the house. Make sure that any play with children or older dogs is done under adult supervision. Have fun with your pup, but don't allow chasing and biting. Keep to the rules that you originally established.
Now is the time to grab that cup of tea or coffee, sit back and enjoy some very important words of wisdom from Ian, a senior trainer for Bonnies. Ian will be giving advice on understanding your pup and tell you all you need to assist you in owning and living with this new member of your family.
When people get their puppy at 7 or 8 weeks, a lot of them expect the pup to come home, fit in as part of the family, behave all the time, and just be a good dog. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen naturally. People, when they buy their dog, must prepare for their pup to come home, put away the good things, just like having a young child in the house. The dog will get up to mischief if he hasn't got something active to do. The pup must be trained. The pup can start the training at 7 or 8 weeks as soon as he or she gets home. Basic obedience, basic home manners doesn't come naturally to a pup. So you must be prepared to spend the time every day, maybe only 5 or 10 minutes every day, to train that pup to do what you want it to do. One of the things that the pup must learn is to be social, not only with the owners or with other dogs, but socialisation takes the place of a whole spectrum of things. Things like motorbikes, motor mowers, pans in the kitchen, mix masters, people on bikes, people in wheelchairs. All these things the pup must get used to, because what he learns in his first 4 or 5 months of life stays with him forever. So if he learns to be afraid of a certain thing when he's 4 or 5 months old, he'll be afraid of that forever. Very important when you get your pup home, to don't put him on the ground and take him for a walk down the street or into off-lead parks. A lot of those places are places where dogs who have not been vaccinated have been, and your young pup can pick up diseases which you don't want. It is also very important though to pick up your pup, take him down the street, in your arms or in the car, sit him on a park bench or on a bench in a shopping centre, and let him get used to all the smells and the sounds of traffic going past. He's in your arms, people come up and pat him, and all that is part of socialising your pup. As he gets older, he won't be afraid of all those noises, all people coming up to him. People might say, why should I train my dog? And I say, why not? You've got that pup or dog for maybe 12, 15 years of your life. If he's not sociable, if he's not well behaved, you'll have a handful. There are more dogs taken to pounds and refuge centres because of misbehaviour than any other reason. pups tend to misbehave. So start your training as soon as your pup comes home. Basic training such as the sit, the down and the stay. All very, very important, and the pup is quite able to learn that from 7 or 8 weeks old. If your dog sits on command every time, that will solve so many behaviour problems. Much harder for a dog to bark when he's sitting. He won't jump up on people if he's sitting. You can't get into all sorts of trouble if he's sitting. So teach him that sit command. Dogs are great readers of body language. Body language is the signs we give out, non-verbal signs that we give out to the pup. When they're in their litter, they read the other pup's body language. They can tell whether the other pup is cranky or angry. They can tell whether the other pup is sad or happy, and even tell whether the pup is unwell, all by body language.
After listening to what Ian has had to say, it's time to take your pup to puppy classes. Any time after getting it home is great, as long as it has had its first lot of injections. Following is a glimpse of a typical Bonnie's session.
What I want you to do is pass the puppy along the line. You will end up with someone else's puppy. What I want you to do is pat the puppy all over. Feel around near his feet, up and underneath his belly, stroke his back. Now remember, he won't be your dog. So what it does is it gets your dog used to a stranger. And this is very important, socialisation outside your house. If a stranger does come over, make sure you control your own dog. If he does get a bit rowdy or reckless, just put your finger on in his collar so he doesn't jump up. So all I want you to do is just talk to him and say g'day to him. So if you're going for a walk with your puppy like you're supposed to for your training, you could walk up to the postman and you could say, excuse me postman, can you pat my dog because you go past my house every day. I'd like my postman to get used to my dog. Pop him on the ground. Everybody else, form a little circle round or just stay close in here. Your concentration of your puppy is very short at this time. Now we do start to teach you a bit of healing and a few sits as we go through your puppy stages here at Bonnie. But always remember, concentration, your dog might be jumping around everywhere, but what we want you to concentrate in is making your puppy do the exercises. As you're starting to teach your dog to sit, he must sit. So don't just let him lay down. Control your puppy in the healing. And sit your dog. Right hand, left hand. Now, what I want you to do is stand up and make sure the puppy is beside you. Come around here. And your puppy right hand, left hand. Sit. Heel off, let's go, left foot. Talk for a minute, go. Try not to swing that for us. And hold, switch your dog, right hand, left hand. Yeah, good down here like that. Yes. He's got to do it right if he's going to go all around the world. Sit. Okay, now what I want you to do is call your puppy in. Make him sit. Yay! It's got to be gold Watto. Yay! Woo! Walk up. That's it. Back to there. Then call him in. Use his name. Come. Yay! Come on in. Look. Okay, watch. Okay, you give it to him, then replace it. But I haven't got it, keep giving it to him yet. But he's working for it. And watch how I do a sit. Sit. Keep leaning back. He'll sit. Here. Or help him. Look.
This puppy here is just 8 weeks of age. I think his name is Killer. Very young, and we don't expose puppies at this age to all the other puppies straight away, because it is frightening for the puppies, and we wait a week or so until the puppy gets used to socialising with these others, and then we'll let him out to run around and work with the other puppies. It's very important they're not traumatised at this age, that they're able to feel comfortable and relaxed with other people around.
We're going to teach Melody, an 11-week-old golden retriever, how to sit on command. It's quite easy. We use the word sit, just one word command, and we can always use a little bit of food as well. Walking along, we hold the food just above Melody's nose and tell her to sit. As soon as she's sat, we give her praise. In this case, it was a reward of food and also voice command. There we can go into the down command. Drop. Food down between the legs, out onto the table, and she gets her stomach on the ground, and again we praise. Good girl. If you're going to use food as a reward, make sure you don't use food as a reward every time. Maybe use it 2 or 3 times and then do the exercise without the food. Otherwise they become dependent on the food and they will only work for food. You can also get Melody to sit. Melody, sit. By again holding the food up above her nose and telling her to command sit and then praise. In this case, this time I'm going to be using my hand as a praise reward. That works just as effectively. I'm going to hand over to Helen now to do the exercise. Notice Helen's voice is a nice high-pitched voice. The command to sit is a one-word, firm command, sit. We'll now do the down exercise. Drop. Good girl. And she gets the food and the hand reward as well. Now we can go into the sit command from there again by using the same method, a little bit of food over Melody's nose and telling her the word sit. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. The tables are great because for such small puppies, it saves you kneeling down on the ground and hurting your back, closer to the dog's ear. You've got full control all the time, provided you keep the finger looped under the collar so the dog has got no chance of falling off. You must have a non-slip surface on the table so the dog doesn't get concerned. This is a child, an 8-week-old German Shepherd, his owner, Sarah and Toby. This is the first night at puppy school. So again, he's in the sit position, one hand behind one leg, in front of the other leg, and just pull him out and tell him to drop. Okay, Sarah's going to try that. Now when you're training again, one-word commands, it's important for the whole family to use the same word. Part of good dog training is to be consistent in everything you do and everything you say to the dog, to save confusion. Very, very important at this early stage. The dog gets the same message from everyone in the system. Okay, this is Stewie, a 12-week-old Sheltie, and Natasha, his owner. We're going to teach Stewie how to sit from a stand position and then how to drop from a sit position. We're using a table tonight because it's so much easier for the handler. It doesn't have to bend down. And once you've got the dog doing well on a tabletop, then you can do the rest of the ground. Start off in the stand position. One important thing to note though, whenever the dog's on the table, you must make sure you hang onto his collar and you've got control. So you get the dog to sit. We're using the word sit, one word command, sit. Hold it over the dog's nose and just pull it back over his face. Drop that little bit through his. Once he gets his tail on the ground, praise him with a bit of rewarding, a bit of food, and a hand pat and your voice. Once he's sat, you can then get him into a down position by again using the one word command, down, drop. Bring the food down his chest and out on the ground between his feet. Then you'll get his stomach on the ground and again the praise as soon as he gets there. Sit, good, good. the stand position. Talk about food. In front of his nose and bring it back slowly over his head. Good boy.
Good boy.
Okay, from the sit position, Natasha's going to put Stewie into the down position.
Down.
Good boy. He goes to move, just hold him steady. And again. Stand. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Stand. Always praise your pup at the end of the exercise. More important exercise you can teach your pup is to recall, that is, come on when he's called. You start off using short distances only, just to get the pup used to it. The most important thing is to use a nice happy voice and plenty of praise when your pup does come to you. I'm just going to hold Chiden here for a moment, and Sarah's about 3 or 4 metres away. They're going to call Chiden with a nice happy voice.
Chiden, good boy. Good boy.
Look at that for a recall. Excellent. And again, the praise. As soon as Chiden gets there, Sarah.
Daisy, come. That's a girl. Good girl.
Okay. Someone else?
Chrissy.
Daisy, come. Good girl.
That's good. This is where the girls have got it over the boys, because they can get their voice up higher and the dogs respond much better to a higher pitched voice. Let's try it with someone else.
Daisy, come.
Good. That's fine.
Good girl.
Okay.
Daisy, come. Good girl.
See, as you're starting to respond to the name. As soon as you said Daisy, that's good girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so when she comes to you, try and get her to sit in front of you, rather than standing or jumping all over the place. Remember to get her to sit, take the food up over her head, and if need be, you can touch her on the backside, put her in the sit position.
Daisy, come. Sit.
Daisy, come. Sit. Good girl.
Excellent.
Stop moving, Norman. Keno! Come! Come, Keno, come!
First, we're going to tell you why it's important that you clip a dog's nails, and then we're going to show you how you go about it. There are several reasons for you to keep the dog's nails short, but a couple of the main ones are they're very sharp, they're pointed, and they will scratch you and your children. It's harder for the dog to walk if his nails are long, and it gives you the opportunity to keep a check on your dog's feet. Well, first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Kay and her beautiful little puppy. This is a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and her name is Bess. A lot of people sort of don't consider just how important it is that dogs' nails are clipped, and it is important that they're clipped at least once a week. And if you start them around 8 weeks of age, they get so used to it, it never creates a drama for you. So then you're not dealing with the dog when he's 3 or 4 years old and he's big and you're trying to clip his nails, and that gets very difficult. When you do clip a dog's nails, you only take the tip. Now, if you do them once a week or once every 5 days, just taking the tip, like Kay is doing here, the quick here, just down here, will come further and further back until you have all nail. Dog's nail at the top is quite white, and that's okay to clip that. Where the pink starts that you can see under the nail, that's the blood under there, and you don't want to go down that far. So just taking the tip there, okay, that will be great. And if you do that, as I said before, once every 5 days or once a week, it won't be long and you'll have beautifully short nails on the dog. Just make sure that when you are clipping the nails, that you get all of the nails, even onto the dew claw here at the back. Sometimes you'll find that the dog, those dew claws have been taken out even before you get the puppy, so they may not have them. It's very important to keep the dog's nails short, and if you start doing this very early in the piece, you'll find that you'll have no dramas doing it as the dog gets older. Puppy owners are aware that they must give a heartworm application in some shape or form, because heartworm comes from mosquito bites, and here in Queensland, of course, it is most necessary. We're very lucky and fortunate that we have it in so many different ways that we can apply that heartworm But as long as we remember, heartworm is for the rest of the dog's life, as indeed are your other all-worming tablets. I see you've got a particular product there that you obviously use. Can you just explain that to me, please?
Yes, this is a monthly spot on.
A monthly.
Safe for puppies right from 8 weeks of age.
Good.
And what we do is we apply it to the shoulder area, part the dog's fur, apply directly onto the skin. And as well as heartworm, it also prevents whipworm, hookworm, roundworm, fleas and ear mites.
So it covers just about everything?
Just about everything.
And once a month?
Once a month.
Where would I get that?
You get that from your local vet.
There are other products on a similar basis to that?
Yes, definitely.
Gee, we live in a good world, don't we?
do.
It makes life much easier to own a puppy. You should worm a puppy for intestinal worms every 2 weeks until he gets to about 16 weeks of age. Then you worm him once a month until he gets to 6 months. And then after that, you worm once every 3 months. No more than that, once every 3 months. I think the thing to also remember is when you worm your dog, you worm the whole family, your own family, the humans in the family. And that's very important. If you have young children, it's important that if you go into park areas or any other areas where dogs have been, children must wear shoes. Otherwise, they can pick up the intestinal worms from the dog's droppings in those areas. Remember, it's very important that you check your puppy over daily for ticks or any other parasites. If you find any problem you don't understand, take your dog to the friendly veterinarian for his advice. It's also important to remember at this stage that you must visit your vet at least once a year for your pup's annual vaccinations. Ian is working out of doors here with different pieces of equipment. All the pieces have a purpose which Ian will explain.
One of the best things you can do for your pup and yourself when you get your pup to take him to a recognised puppy training school where he'll learn how to behave. Because unfortunately when they come home they're not like us and they don't fit into the human environment as we would like without some training. Owning a dog is a big commitment on everybody's part. You'll have a dog such as this for probably around about 12 or 13 years. So unless you want him to be misbehaved for 13 years and be a little teenager for all that time, you need to train him right from the word go. Basic training such as the sit, the stand, the drop and the stay, and the recall. Boy. Now this is a dog 5 minutes ago who would have nothing to do with this ramp. Bit of encouragement. Come on, Archie. Verbal praise, a bit of food, scratch behind the ear. Praise is so important to build up their confidence. These things you see spread out around here, that's all it does, build up the dog's confidence.
What's that, son?
On
Good girl. Good girl. Come on. You're going to sit in there. Hey, it's shady. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Come on.
Back this way. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Sit. Good. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Look at that. Yeah.
Good boy. Good dog. Very good. Come on. Good boy.
That's it. Good. No trouble at all.
Come on, mate. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, mate. Come on. Hey, good boy.
These are some of the results you can achieve by giving your puppy the grounding he or she needs. All of these dogs did attend puppy classes and then progressed to juveniles and adopt.
Well, after they've been doing this for a little while, they generally get it right. Then sometimes they don't.
If you have followed the advice given on this DVD, you will have covered just the tip of the iceberg in having a great pet who fits in with your family circle. Continue with your training at a reputable training school and your dog will become the pet companion you have always wanted.
You may not be aware that several years ago Val Bonney produced a book entitled Who's the Boss?, which focuses on what makes a dog tick and why it does the things it does. Val has also produced a DVD which demonstrates the skills associated with obedience training. It is a hands-on approach to training your dog. At this point in time, neither of these are available in bookshops, but they may be obtained through eBay or by contacting Bonnie's directly on 07 3300 2959, through the website at www.bonnies.com.au or by email at info@bonnies.com.au.
I do hope you have both enjoyed and learnt from this DVD. If by producing it we have given you a great companion, we have achieved what we set out to do. Happy training!